Recording.
Hi.
Hi.
As usual, here we are with our highs and our giggles.
Yep.
Welcome to a refined voyage with Kaila and Michelle. We're two Black women who happen to be from Canada that love traveling and talk about all things travel and air grievances.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good, girl. I'm good. It's cold. I have to wear my parka. No one else is wearing their parka, but I am. And that's fine. How are you? How's lockdown treating you?
Yeah, I'm okay. We're in our last week. So we find out hopefully soon what will happen next week. So I'm hoping we go into some relaxed version, not too relaxed, but relaxed enough that I can leave the county because I have a camper van trip planned.
You
So,
hipster.
I don't know how to take that, but I'm gonna take it as a compliment.
I mean, I would do it too. Like, I'm okay doing it. I would love to do it. So it's a compliment.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go the second week of December.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So one of our recordings will be in a camper van I don't know where I'll be.
That's
Dingle, the Ring of Kerry, I don't know. Blarney, I don't know. I'll show you something cool. I've been promising that for a few episodes that I'll show something cool, but we're not allowed out.
Yeah. Also, if you guys listeners aren't following her on her Instagram, please do, because she posts some dope pictures.
Oh, stop. Thanks though. You can follow us. Follow a refined voyage. Follow a refined voyage, and there you can find myself and Kaila. If you're interested in what we're doing outside of our podcast, Kaila does a lot. I don't do too much. I write things sometimes. I wander aimlessly in Dublin within my 5 kilometers that I'm allotted during this lockdown. But so I'm renting this caravan, and it got me thinking, because whenever I do travel, I dip into a little bank account that I have specifically for travel. So it had me thinking, do you have a travel fund?
Yeah. And I've had a travel fund ever since I've been traveling. Once I found out that like traveling is my favorite thing to do, I was like, that's where all my money's going. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I do. I have several travel funds. I did. So when I was working full time, I would take a part of my salary, about 35% of it, and I'd throw it into that account, which was great because I knew that it would always be there. And when I was ready to dip, I'd just be like, bye, because I love that money. There was no like, I'm scrounging for money when I was working full time. Also, I also had, Brendan and I have these piggy banks that we have. There's these digital piggy banks. Hold on, I'm going to show you mine. Okay, so this is mine. This is my digital piggy bank. Yeah.
Ooh, we need to name them. I'm not going to give them a gender, but you should name your piggy bank.
That's a good idea, because I don't have a name for it. If you, friends, like, want to name this pig, just leave a comment below and let me know what you think the name should be.
I vote for Spider Pig.
Spider Pig. Okay.
That's the Simpsons reference. Anyone who knows me, fun fact, I love the Simpsons. So
I probably watched that episode and I don't remember it.
It's from the movie, but it's hilarious. Anyway,
okay, there we go.
I'm gonna call them Spider Pig until they have a name. Okay. But you have this digital piggy bank, so every time you put money, it records it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Brendan and I had this like competition at one point, and we're like, let's see like who can get to 200 first. So like every time we find change, we just put it in there. Anyways, so we did that for like, we finally reached 200, obviously. And then we would also like return like beer bottles to the beer store, take that change, put it in our piggy banks. And a few times we've opened them and taken the money that we had there and traveled. Like that's been our traveling money, whether it pays for like our flights, whether it pays for Airbnbs, whether it pays for food. Like it's just a bunch of change that we then turn into cash, then throw in our bank accounts. And that's our travel money. So yeah. Do you?
That's amazing.
What's your savings like? What do you do?
So yeah, so a lot of people, there's always discussions about the best travel cards, and whenever people usually speak about travel cards, they speak about the benefits that they get from credit cards, like points.
Right.
And I know a lot of people do that. That's not my thing. However, I do have a selection of 3 of my favorite travel cards, in a sense that you can open an account, like a bank account, and hold several different currencies for no extra cost, and you can like switch currencies in between them under one bank account. You get a card and everything, and you're able to do that. So I have 3 here that I love. So my favorite one, I think, is TravelWise.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see the little
Yeah.
TravelWise. So it's an app. It's completely digital. You can literally take your home country debit card and put money into an account in any currency. So what I would do is, if I was working, depending on where I was working, depending on the currency that I was getting, I would take, like you said, a percentage of my salary and throw it into that account. And then it's there, and wherever I decide to go, I can just switch. The currency and then use the card. And what I love about it is that it's an actual, like this one's a MasterCard.
Right.
It's a debit MasterCard. So it's a proper card, like it's embossed and everything with your name. So you can book hotels, you can book flights. And you don't get any charges, and you can take money out of the machine in any currency. And they just charge you when you change currencies. They just charge you the exchange rate, and it's usually a better rate than the bank.
What?
So that's one that I love. Yeah. So another one that's super popular out here is called Revolut. So that's Revolut. This one's a Visa, not a MasterCard.
Yeah.
Same deal. It's an app. One thing that I love about Revolut, and I only learned about it probably like last year because it's super popular in Ireland with people who come here and are expats. So what's great about Revolut is you can actually get paid into that account in several different currencies. So if you're making either US dollars, euros, or pounds, you can actually get paid into this card, and then you can switch the currencies as well. What I love about Revolut is that if somebody else has a Revolut account, you can just zap money. So that's how like I pay rent. So we all put money. You can create like subgroups in the app, and it could be like flatmates, if you have flatmates, and everybody can put money into that, and then you can just send your rent off, and it's super fast. It's instant. So if you have a Revolut account and I have a Revolut account and we go out to eat, I can literally just zap you the money through your phone number. So it's really, really cool. And another thing that I love about Revolut is that you can set it up to have a rainy day account where a percentage of every purchase you make, it doesn't matter, you can set it as low as 0.01 or as high as 50 or 75%. A percentage of every purchase you make, it'll take an extra percentage off that and put it into the rainy day fund. So if you spend $5 and you have a 10% rainy day account open, it'll take 10% of that $5 and put it into the rainy day account. And you think that like it's not a lot of money, but it adds up. Like,
so can you always see that rainy day account? And like, can you like,
yeah,
what if it's like, it's not a rainy day, but I really want that pair of shoes?
Yeah, you can use it. It's completely instant. You can zap the money into your regular account, like in any currency. So if you have a rainy day account in euros, and let's say I end up coming back home to Canada and I want to use that rainy day fund, you can literally just transfer the rainy day currency from euro to Canadian in 1 second. Oh, nice. So you always have access to it. There's no lock on it or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So in terms of app usability and like being able to do a lot of things, Revolut, another thing I really love about Revolut is that they have an option to have a premium card, right. And I can't remember the next level. So the standard Revolut card, which looks like this, is it's free. So you just pay for the shipping, which I think is like $5. And then the premium is €8 a month. I don't know what it is in dollars or if it's available in Canada yet. And with that card, you can, you're covered with insurance. So whatever your home country is, wherever you fly to, if you put your flight details into the app, you are covered for up to 90 days. So you have insurance. Yeah, for like delays, medical care, anything you need. And that's just for the €8 a month. And you also get, if your flight's delayed, you get automatic free passes to go into the airport lounge. You can buy discount airport lounges. I think they have like, it's like 100 lounges all over the world. Yeah, so Revolut is really cool for stuff like that.
€8 a month.
Yeah, €8 a month. And then they have like the next level, which is I think €14 a month, that offer a little more and cooler cards. TransferWise is super cool as well. You can send money. It just takes a minute. Whereas with Revolut, it's super instant. So for my Canadian folk out there, my third card is the CIBC travel card. So this one's in euros specifically. I believe now they just have a travel card where you can load different currencies, or you can buy ones that are specific. So like, not buy, actually, I think they're free. So you get like a euro one, pounds, and then you can just take, if you have a CIBC account, you can just transfer money into it. For usability, it's actually kind of analog and HTML, because you have to go onto the actual website to do that. It's not like an app. Right. It's not available through the app. So that's the only reason why I prefer TransferWise or Revolut. But yeah, those are my tips for like travel funds, and in terms of, they're really, really cool, super free. TransferWise is free, Revolut's free, just pay for the shipping, and then the CIBC I believe is also free. In terms of rates, TransferWise and Revolut are pretty much head to head, like in terms of exchange rates. So they're a bit lower than the bank. So yeah, that's what I do.
I love that.
During this time, since we're unable to travel, have you been saving more? Like, how much is in that piggy bank?
We emptied it before we moved, so let's see. There's probably $1.25. We never have cash. Like everything's like debit, so I'm not putting the cash into this pig. No, not really. I don't think I've been saving as much as I used to.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think for those who are still able to work and get a full-time salary, I reckon it would be a little easier to save.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. What are people doing? Since you posed the question to our listeners about naming your piggy bank, I'll pose the question as well. Are you guys saving? Are you saving more? Are you saving less? Personally, I don't know. I think I'm the same.
Yeah?
I don't think I'm any more or any less. I'm just happy to not touch my savings, and I feel very blessed that I haven't had to touch my savings at the minute.
Specifically for travel, though? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Yeah, just a travel fund.
Right.
I dipped into it to rent the caravan, but that's what that's for me. Yeah. That's like, if I want to go on a trip, like you said, when we want to dip, I want to be able to dip. I don't want to think about it. Yeah. I want to book those tickets, right?
Exactly. And I think that's such a good, it's nice to have that freedom. Like, I think once people, if like I said, if traveling is your thing, like, try your best in every way you can just to put away money for that, you know? And then so you have that ability for when you actually want to travel to just go book that ticket. Sometimes some people, or sometimes myself is included, I'm not disciplined, right? There's been times I haven't been disciplined, and instead of like putting like, I'll take that $50 and put it into my travel account, instead I go and I spend $50 at a restaurant or something. So like, I don't know, you gotta kind of stay disciplined, I guess. And priorities in a sense, right?
Yeah, I guess. One of the things that I spoke to somebody about, I don't even know who I was talking to, but currency is such a strange thing. Like, I don't really understand it. Like, money is just so weird. So it's constantly like this, right? Going
Yeah.
up and down, up and down. And the reason why I love to use travel cards,
Mm.
like I kind of find them as non-traditional bank. So like non-traditional bank travel cards versus having cash, versus having it in like a regular bank, is that you can save in currencies that you know are going to be high all the time. So like the Canadian dollar is always like this, right? Like for example,
Or like this.
yeah, the Brazilian real is always like this, and it's usually a little bit lower. So if you're able to save in like euro, you know, if you're from Brazil,
Right.
that if you're saving in euro, you're always going to have a substantial amount of extra wealth. You get me? So being from Canada, I feel like I'm here giving like financial advice, and I am like not the person to do that.
Okay, that's not true. You are.
but but so like I'm fortunate enough to, I've been living in Europe for 4 years, been earning either in euro or in Swedish krona, which is high as well.
Right.
And I've been able to save and do that. But with the travel cards, even if you're making Canadian dollars, you can still buy euros, you can still buy US dollars, you can still buy pounds, and then keep that there and know that no matter what your Canadian dollar is doing, you're still going to have a substantial amount of a little bit of extra wealth and wiggle room.
So sorry, which one, what card is that we can do that with?
Yeah, so it's Revolut or TransferWise. Any kind of non-traditional. I know that there's another one called like N26. I haven't tried it out. These are the ones that I use.
Okay.
So that's one thing that I like about it. So like if you open my app and you can see all the different currencies I have. So I have like some money, some US dollars,
Right.
and I have some euros, and I have some pounds. So like when I hop over to Northern Ireland or over to Great Britain or anywhere in the UK, you know, I know that I have some pounds in there and I can just use it. I don't have to think twice about it. And I also know that if push comes to shove and I head back home, I have a little bit of the exchange, like the exchange works for you. So when it won't feel that way when you're buying it with your Canadian dollars, but you know, going back home and using the euro or using the pound, you have that little bit of extra wealth. So that's one thing that I love about that versus, I mean, cash is king to me. I know that we're in COVID and like we're turning into this digital society. I love the piggy bank. I love the money in the mattress kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But an alternative, instead of using a big, a huge banking institution.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. You can use these alternative banks as well.
I love that.
Sorry, I feel like I'm monotone, so I apologize. But yeah, that's how I do it. Now, speaking of working, do you think working remotely will become the norm?
Okay, so story time. A few years ago, when I had gone back to school, I was supposed to grade this paper, and one of the topics I had thought about was actually the idea of working from home and how close to that are we as a society. So this was about 2 years ago when I had this idea to write this paper, and then I didn't. And instead I wrote about the missing Indigenous women in Canada, which is totally fine. But I'm like, am I psychic? But no, not really. Do I think it's going to be the norm? Absolutely. Because there are two reasons. One, people are able to actually like, they don't have to deal with the stresses of heading to work, right? Offices themselves, if they're paying rent, will be able to save money that way because they don't have to pay rent, because they don't need to have a physical office space per se. And if people do, and people are heading back to work, it won't be like, oh, you have to come to the office 5 days a week, maybe 2 days a week or something. I think people's mindsets are going to be like, oh, this could always be a thing. What do we need? The internet? Zoom? You know, I don't know. I just feel like it's going to become the norm. It has to become the norm now. That's what
right. I feel like it's going to be introduced. Okay, so I think that companies benefit from it more than people benefit from it, because what I've seen and what I've experienced myself and what I see my friends and my peers experience is that I think that we're working a lot more at home, because there's that unspoken kind of rule that you have to always be available. So like I see people working, and I have worked and been in this position during the pandemic, where you're working from 9 a.m. all the way until 9 p.m.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, because you're just expected to be accessible, because everybody is like, yeah, there's nothing going on, so you need to be able to work. So I think that companies would, once they, you know, they do all the reports and maybe they do have people coming into the office again, maybe like you said, it'll be limited. So it'll be like instead of 5 days, it'll be 3 days, right? But I don't think it's because of COVID. I think it's going to be because of productivity, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I also think that during the pandemic, we've learned a few things. We've learned that the internet is a resource. Like, we need it.
Yeah,
This is like a mandatory resource. And especially for Canada, the internet and phone is just so expensive. And I think that that's just going to have to be, it's going to be halved in price or something like that, because companies, I think that employees are going to start requesting that companies pay for these things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if you expect me to work, you need to provide the resources, right? So that's one thing that we've learned. And another thing that we've learned is that almost every job in the corporate world and around that can be done at home. And, you know, it makes me feel so bad for the people who have applied for jobs that maybe have some sort of disability, and maybe not physical, but like a mental disability or any type of anxiety that kept them away from positions because they couldn't be in the office all the time. And, you know, employers wouldn't allow that. And now, you know, saying like, no, you have to be in the office, you know, this job is on site. Whereas now we know it's actually not like that. So I think work and the idea of work and work-life balance, all of that, positively and negatively, are going to be looked after and be changed. And I think that opens up a lot of tourism. I think that a lot of people are not going to stay in one place. A lot of people live where they live because of close proximity to work. Right?
Yep.
Like, we've spoken about this, I think it was like the first or second episode when we spoke about you moving. It's like, you know, when you don't have to live in the city anymore, I go live in the city. Yeah. What does the city even give you if not employment?
It just takes.
Right?
So bitter.
Anyway, yeah, I love this episode. This was a good one. Yeah. Very informative.
I feel like I learned a lot from you, and I'm about to get those travel cards.
Oh, that makes me feel nice.
Thank you.
That makes you feel nice. We gave everyone double the pleasure, double the fun last week, but this week I think we should keep it a little short just in case people need to catch up.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear our voices too much, but we got a few more episodes coming up. We're carrying it out until the end of the year. So we'll be here to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Is that NSYNC?
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to listen to it.
It's a wonderful feeling. Feel the love in the air from the floor to the ceiling. It's our time of year. Christmas time is near. Anyway, wow, now everyone's going to listen to my singing. My mom is going to say something about it. Brenda's mom's gonna be like, oh man, I don't like that Michelle anymore. No, I'm kidding. But with that said, yeah, let's say goodnight. It's late here.
Yes. You need to get some food.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Miss Kaila, and thank you everyone for listening, watching, hanging out. And yeah, hopefully next week or after next week, the week after next, you'll be seeing me and a bit of Ireland.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll be outside and I can show you what's going on over here. Because I've been promising that. But until next week. Bye.
Wow, you made it to the end of the episode. So, if you like to hear us talk and you like to see our faces, please go ahead and click on that subscribe button below. And there's also a thumbs up button, which means if you click it, you like us.